Okay, it made them feel better that for a lot of these feminists, all they do is talk shit and sell ass. I'm not even gonna lie to you. They're thieves, they're liars, they're thoughts, and they hated you because you weren't any of that. So they had to lie, make false documents, false papers, and telling you to try to prove to a whole community that you weren't shit. Okay? And I'm going to put this in there. Again, this is not for everybody, but I'm telling you, every crime committed, it was done here. So this false stuff, okay, in regards to your sexual history, to explain your sexual history and why you got an STD that was spread. Pause. Let me tell you where this came from, though. Let me tell you where this came from. Hold on, let me make sure I'm still filming. Let me tell you where this came from. Okay? These people were doing a lot of sex matching. There was a lot of lust going on. Again, don't think too hard about your family participating in orgies and shit. Okay? You'll throw up. I know I will. Okay? There was some STDs that was starting to get spread around. Okay? And if you ever said anything about sexual health and it was documented or recorded when your phone was tapped or on a text message, they all said it was you. So your karmic masculine was out here sleeping around, sleeping with people in this cult. They were exchanging STDs. Okay, and when they didn't listen to God, they got an incurable one. And it was somebody in this group, okay, maybe even this mature woman, this dark priestess, she intentionally gave people an incurable STD. Like, she knew she had that shit. A lot of people knew this dark priest and priestess may have had it. They weren't telling, this covenant. They were doing all types of shit. So when people started popping up positive on shit, they said that it was you. So your karmic masculine was like, yeah, it couldn't have been me. I slept with, a collective. And you see, she was asking me about the test or whatever. You expressing, being responsible and talking about sexual health. They use that against you. So, well, she wouldn't ask if she didn't have anything. Them. Okay? So your karmic masculine was the one who was responsible, going around telling people that you had passed them an STD, and that's why, they had passed it to people. Like, you know what I mean? Just sick shit. Sick shit. And when people were like, oh, you don't seem like the type of person that they had to sit up there and concoct a whole narrative that you were a sex worker. Okay? Your karmic masculine was in love with you. They were paid to not be. Alright? So they couldn't act like they loved you. Alright? To them, according to your karmic masculine, people saw through that shit. But what your karmic masculine was saying was basically, you was a hoe. You was a sex worker. You was just a booty call. You weren't anything serious. Okay? But she gave me something. That's why I gave you something, or whatever. Okay? But what really was going on, your karmic masculine caught a case because their karmic was out here fucking around and gave it to their karmic masculine. So then the two of them, alright, sitting up there with STDs, pointed the finger at you. Okay? And their karmic feminine loved it. She knew that she gave your ex-masculine a STD and found a perfect opportunity to blame you. See? Collective is so obsessed with you and they're doing love spells on you, and that's why you think that you love them. But you see, they gave you an STD, and that's why I'm telling you. Like, ooh-wee. But there was somebody in the cut. They saw all of this. They saw all of this. It was a member of the community. They woke up. They did all this shit. Okay, because let me tell you what this is right here. This boss, this dark priest and priestess, okay, they were in charge. This is your family here. They were making false documents to say that you were sick. Okay, I mean mentally sick, physically sick. You had everything wrong with you. Okay? You were in a straitjacket, getting infusions and shit. I'm telling you, you were just sick as fuck. You were about to die. Matter of fact, these people did do false documentation that you didn't die so you can get your insurance money. Okay? this plan was going to work because they had convinced the community and eventually the legal system. They believed these people when it came to the lies and the false documents about you. They believed these people, and that's why it went on for so long. Okay, they were people paid to believe. There were people who genuinely actually did believe with illusions and lies cast on them. But, that's why this went on for so long. Okay, but it took somebody who saw something, like your divine masculine. They were a part of the legal system. Okay, they worked in the legal field. They saw what was going on. They were being paid to not say anything, but they can't. They can't do that. They didn't want to do that. Once they understood what was going on, and then they really woke up and just knew that you were their divine counterpart, it wasn't going to happen. And then people started putting the scope on them because they saw that, okay, divine masculine, they're not believing this, or, they asked me too many questions about this. What are we going to do? They just started doing spell work on the both of y'all. They started lying about your divine masculine, so people wouldn't believe them if they started saying some shit about this. Wow. This keeps coming out. Death magic. Look, I'm telling you.
The neighbor right there.
This divine masculine figured out that it was members of their family and your family. Wow. Sitting up there doing death magic on you, Earth Angel, so they can collect money in court here. Your insurance money. Your inheritance. They were trying to take you out. And then when people tried to get too loud, especially your divine masculine, about what was going on, they tried to take them out too. Because they also have some type of abundance. Matter of fact, your divine masculine's family was stealing from them. They were taking their abundance. I'm telling you, both of you guys' families stole from you. Worked with this family to steal from you. And your twin flame. Okay? Both got set up by your twin flame and your family, y'all. To take your inheritance. Spiritually as well. You and your divine masculine are divine. So you hold a lot of power, psychic power, manifestation powers. Okay? And what's happening is you have ascended. So nobody believes these lies about you anymore because you speak for yourself. People see you and they're like, nah, why the fuck would you lie on this person? They did not do this. Matter of fact, the way that they're talking, you did this. Because collective, you are speaking up. And at first these people were like, oh, she don't really know anything. But once you started getting specific, they were like, oh no. They got scared. They really did. Okay? And the people who got really scared, like this dark priest from Divine Masculine's family and members of your family, I'm telling you, they just started kicking up death magic. Because they know at this point that they're getting caught. And that when you guys have to go through these legal proceedings, people see you in high honor. They're going to know what these people did to you. Okay? They're going to understand that there was a lot of lust, a lot of sex, lies, drugs. Okay? In order to steal from you. This is a very scandalous operation. And it was all because this dark priest, they wanted you to have, to hold, to siphon off of. And your family wanted to take you down. Okay, so... Ooh, yes, yes, yes. Look, look, look. So, top to bottom. You had a bunch of hoes here. Hoes who practice witchcraft. And that was really the catalyst for a lot of people to start coming up against you. A lot of sexual energy, sex magic, glamour, all that different type stuff. A lot of people were seduced into coming up against you. And with the seduction came a lot of lies. Alright, these are Jezebels. So they come off as very innocent, very sweet, very almost divine feminine. Okay, and then until they start giving you the eyes. Alright, They just flat out want to fuck you. Just tell you straight up. Okay? So they got